Good morning. It is Friday, February 14th, giving my trade review for today. The company you see here, MBRX Molecular Biotech. It's the first choice I had this morning. I got an alert on my primary indicator and I got in on this one at 6:25. So this candle right here, and I got in on the wick at $2.12, and then it just totally bombed. Um, Things looked good, but I'm still, I guess I'm still learning. I'm still learning as I go along with pennies, but it did drop and it kept dropping. And I'm like, gosh darn it. And it just kept dropping. I did decide because I said this one seems to be playing around quite a bit. And when I look at the longer charts, things were kind of, yeah, and kind of no. And I did decide to average, and I said, I'm only going to average once. I'm not going to do any more than that. And of course, I'm using less powder. So I don't have as much powder available to me right now. And I have to keep that in mind too. I did wind up averaging at 654. So this candle here, I bought some shares at $2.04. And I'm like, oh yeah. That put me at needing to get out at anything above 207. And oh, look at that. And it dropped. So this got me down to about 11%. And I'm like, well, let me see what happens because that was at 7 o'clock and they're fighting. And then it really dropped. So I kept watching. That wick, oh Lord, if it didn't get above, the bid price didn't get to above 207. So I didn't see 208. So I had to wait. And I'm like, goodness gracious. This is probably about like 4%. I'm like, okay, looks like it would do this like climb and then it would drop. Like here was a climb and then it dropped again. And then they start climbing and I'm like, ooh, maybe this is it. And I just want the penny. I'm not trying to play around with them. So I was able to get out at 7. I got out on this candle right here. 7:25, got out on the wick. And now look, and that took about an hour. That was an hour for me to get out. And now on the candle that we're looking at right now, the 738, it's above where I need it to be. It's at 209. It might actually, make it back to 212. It might get above 212 where I originally was in. I don't know. We'll see. But I need to give my recap. So I got the win. I got my win. I'm good. I am slightly struggling. Greedy Jera is trying to make an entrance again, and I'm very mindful of that. I'm starting to itch more with freedom and just this concern that, oh my goodness, I might not be able to make my cushion. Like I might not make the cushion amount this month. I just need to get back in the black, and that's my goal, is to get back into the black. Oh, look at that, everybody. It's above where I needed it to be. It's at 216 now, and that's 739. So it did what I needed it to do. If I would have originally just waited, it just would have took a while. That was about an hour, a little over an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, for me to have been able to get out on the original. But again, that's the win. I got what I needed. Um, okay, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, greedy Jira. Just I'm focused in more. I need to, back that off a little bit and just stay focused on just get the win. Even if it's $1, even if it's 50 cents, like it just doesn't matter. I need to stay honed in on that. I'm looking at the amounts that I need to put into my account every month. And it's like, oh, I might not make that this month. What if I'm not in the black? What if I'm in the red, if I can't get my losses under control? But it's okay. I'm going to do what I need to do and continue to focus on that every day. Just do the everyday and then walk away. Do the one trade, do the one option. I have been doing maybe one. I've been doing two. I need to think. I've been doing two options lately, and I need to just back off and do the one and just call it a day. And I also need to be more mindful of staying in the losses. Like I'm staying in the loss. I'm staying in too long. Like I'm still I'm still honed. I still have an issue with hopium, and I got to focus on that and get that hopium out of my system and really find that spot. This is one of the tough things about trading for me personally is it is just the emotions and being able to get past myself. But when I'm honest with myself, I know, like these are some of my concerns, and I got to get myself together in that regard. Um, and it's a process. I'm going to continue to work through it, but I am going to make sure that I stay focused and on top. Freedom will come on or before May 1st, 2026 is my date. If it happens after May 1st, 2026, that's all right too. I have to be okay with that. But the only reason that it won't is because of me. But it is, I got to find that balance. There's excitement to get into freedom, there's anxiousness to get into freedom, but I got to find a way to settle myself in and just be okay. And I also got to hone in on if you see the profit, take it. Like if it's one penny more, if you can get out at 208 and you could, and you got out at 208, then you get out at 208. And that's exactly what you did was got out at 208 on that candle. Um, it's not about getting 211, 218, the indicator, when your primary indicator alerted, you got in where you got in when your indicator alerted, and you wait for that penny. I mean, one penny more is profit, doesn't matter. It's okay. Um, I am still considering to myself if I'm going to add more powder. I don't know. I need to think about that. Really wanting to make sure that I want to make sure I'm settled in February, like really settled in and really making sure that I understand where I sit when it comes to, especially when something doesn't go my way. If a penny doesn't go my way, then I got to be okay with that. And I'm still learning with pennies. Like I'm still trying to figure out the it ain't a magic, but the pattern. I got to figure out the pattern, and I'm starting to see some things that I recognized sooner or earlier, but just wasn't like consistently paying attention to it. So it's something that I'm still going to try to research and make sure that that actually works in that regard. Okay. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Again, happy Valentine's Day. And I'll be back at it on Monday.